Hi, I'm Luke from airly.com. When it comes to private jet ownership, there's 8 things you need to consider. And first of all, it comes down to your goal in ownership. Why do you want to own a private jet? Are you doing it for the status? Are you doing it for the practicality of it? You need to understand well before you start looking at available aircraft what your true goal is. And the second is a two-pronged effect. It is more around affordability. So can you afford the initial price tag of that jet? And while that may seem appealing, can you afford the ongoing maintenance cost and management fees of private jet ownership? I think we've found a lot of members and connections of mine have seen that a jet might be available for $700,000 and go, wow, I can finally afford a jet, only to get let down over the 12 and 24 months following the purchase because they can no longer afford the ongoing maintenance and management fees of owning a private jet. The third thing we need to think about is the aircraft selection. And it comes back to your goal and mission. If you're someone who's flying along the East Coast, say Melbourne to Sydney every week, and are chartering at the moment and want your own jet to use at your convenience, you don't need a large 15-seat aircraft. Alternatively, if you're always traveling to Asia, for instance, on business, you will want something that can go direct and be a reliable option to make those long-haul flights. So number 4, choosing the right management company. We would strongly recommend going to a management company that already has the type of jet you're buying under what's called an air operating certificate, meaning that they have pilots already qualified to fly the jet you're about to purchase and that they've done a lot of the regulatory work already, which should save you considerable money and time into the future. The next thing you need to do is see if you can get in contact with some of the other owners to see what their experience has been like with this management company. There are some great companies out there that will manage and do all the hard work for you, get you additional revenue, but there are some out there which may oversell and not deliver. Number 5 is earning additional revenue via charter, and that's where airly.com can come in handy. Some owners purchase a jet purely for their own use and don't allow others to charter out their aircraft. Alternatively, for users that aren't flying frequently on their own aircraft, they tend to leverage their management company to put out their jet on charter. So some things you need to think about with that is, are you happy with strangers using your jet? Are you comfortable having other members of the public out there using your aircraft? And it almost comes into 3 finer points of that. When it comes to the age of your aircraft, you need to consider, would people be comfortable chartering my aircraft? And as the education is growing in the market, charterers are more and more aware of the year of manufacture and refurbishment of your jet. So if you're buying a jet from 1986, we've personally experienced clients declining jets that are actually over 15 to 20 years old, especially when you're dealing with folk from the US and more educated markets. Also, in regards to charter, you need to consider how much you're willing to put it out. You need to be priced competitively, otherwise you will not get that additional revenue you're looking for. So make sure you speak with your management company to ensure that you're covering all costs and you're making some great profit on it, but still in a comparable space with other jets of your type. And finally, it comes down to availability. The best jets that get the most charter generally have owners that are very flexible with availability and aren't restrictive on what kind of flights your jet takes and how readily available it is. So there's one thing called owner availability, which every management company should work through. There are owners out there that are more than happy to put their jet out to charter before using it for themselves because it brings in that additional revenue that wasn't there before. So talk with your management company about owner approvals. Maybe you could give some blanket approvals based on routes and dates over the year. But the more available the jet, the more likely it will be to get chartered. So to wrap up, that's the 8 things you need to consider when buying a private jet. Airly.com, we don't sell jets, we only charter them, but I think it's important that you get valuable advice from us and what we see from the current markets and trends when chartering your jets out.